All right, everybody, how's it going out there today? Something a little special here to do a video on today. This is a Fatboy custom 16 pill 2879C. So it doesn't have the standard 2879s in it. It has 16 2879Cs. I posted some pictures up of it a few days ago and told everybody it was up for sale. Had a gentleman contact me, so this one is sold. Just want to test it before it goes out, make sure it's doing good. 16 pills are arranged straight down the line there, straight down the middle. 32 pill cabinet, 6 fans on top of it, so it should run really nice and cool. Should be able to get some long-winded talk time out of it. And I tell you guys, real tempted to keep this one myself. I got a suburban project going on right now, and I thought about keeping it to run in there for the time being until everything gets done. But super nice amp. Really like how they did on this one. Fatboy did a hell of a job on it. We're going to test it with a 1 drive and 4. Now, this amp's also for sale. This is a brand new amp as well. 1 drive and 4. This one has a 454 driver, I believe, and 4 standard 2879s. I know it has standard 2879s. I think it has a 454 driver. And that would be a pretty good driver for this thing. We might be under driving it just a little bit. So, you know, generally on a 4-pill 2879C, I tell everybody 200 to 250 watts PEP max going in. And a lot of that depends on the voltage you're using. So more voltage, less drive, less voltage, more drive. So if you're running a 4-pill C box at 15 volts, you know, you can probably get away with 225 PEP, 250 PEP. But if you're going to run it at 16 and a half volts, you want to go down to, you know, 180 to 200 PEP. So we'll just go ahead and turn the 16 off for right now. And we'll show you what this 1 drive and 4 is doing. I don't know if I don't have my 1,000-watt slug out here, so we'll just have to use a 2500 for the time being here. This is a 5,000 that we'll end up using to test the 16 with, and this is a 2500 that we'll test the 1 drive and 4 with, and get a general idea of what we're putting into it here. So top scale, this is going to be average power first, just as a reference. Hello. It's showing almost 500 average. And I don't really know how accurate that is. We are hitting it with 15 volts. Because we're on a 2,500 watt slug, it might be reading just a little bit free. I would say closer to the ballpark of 400 average, give or take. We'll test this amp individually by itself later. But again, when you get far away from the scale that the amp needs to be ran on, like I said, we should really be running this on a 1,000-watt scale to get an accurate reading. We're running double that, so it could be reading just a little generous. This is PEP, audio 1, 2, 3, audio 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'd say it's reading about 100 watts free on PEP and average, because it's showing almost 1,000 right there. And I'd say it's actually doing somewhere between 800 and 900 PEP, and probably doing somewhere between 375 and 400 average. So, being that this is essentially four pills, you could say anywhere between 800 and 1,000 watts PEP. Now, is this amp doing 1,000 watts PEP? Like I said, probably not. Excuse me. It's probably doing closer to 800, you know, 850, something like that. So I have seen these driven. I actually had a friend of mine that had one in the smaller case, and he drove it with a dang 2 drive and 4. Doing 1,500 watts, and it never did buck or have any trouble. But do I recommend driving it that hard? No, not really. But I'm just saying he did, and he was seeing some outrageous numbers out of it. But I don't recommend driving it that hard. Let's power this guy up. We're testing it on a 600 amp power supply that RC built for me. You can see it down there on the floor, or down there, sitting on a stand down there. 15.1 volts is what we're running. Again, this amp can take a lot more voltage than that. 16 volts, probably 16.5. You will see this thing come alive and do some crazy, crazy numbers. But for today's test, 15.1 is what we're running. I'm sure we'll get some voltage drop. We'll get to that here in a bit. So what we're going to do now, I already can tell you, this thing is not going to hold on the 2,500 watt slug. So we're going to go with the 5,000 because it's going to do over 2,500 PEP without a doubt. Now I want to make sure our dead key is within reason here. We're looking at the middle scale. Let's see. We'll go with about an 800 watt dead key. That's probably where I'd run it, somewhere between 500 and 1,000. I would not exceed 1,000 watt dead key out of it. Probably around 700-800 watts myself. Probably run it harder than that, considering it's got all these fans on it. But if it was mine, that's where I would run it. Oh, getting a little ground squeal there. Hello, 2,000 average. Audio. So doing 2K plus average. And now PEP. Audio 1, 2, 3. Audio 1, 2, 3. Audio 4,000 TET. Check. Audio 1, 2, 3. Audio. Get on down with your bad self. Get on down. Audio. So it's doing exactly double. Now, a little more drive, a little more voltage, you'll be pinning the 5,000 PEP to the corner. So we're kind of cruising it right now. Again, it will take more drive. It'll take a little bit more drive, but it will take a lot more voltage. 15.1. Let me see what we're dropping down to. Oh, let's see if I can get down here. Oh, 14.9 is what we're dropping down to. So we're not even at 15 volts when we're talking. Stand up and get over here to the clamp meter. Audio 300 amps. Now 300 amps is the that's everything. So that's the 16 pill, that's the 1 drive and 4, that's everything together. Now what do I realistically think this amp can do if you push it to its limits and drive it hard? I would say between 2,200 average and 2,500 average, and you'll be getting up there close to 400 amps worth of draw if you're running the driver with it. But as we're running it right now, again, our radio does about 35 PEP, 10 watts average. This, I would say, realistically, 375, 400 average, 800 PEP. Again, I know it showed more on the 2,500 watt slug, but realistically on a 1,000 watt slug, that's about what it would have shown. And then you've got this guy here with the 16 C's in it. So generally a 4-pill driving it hard will draw 70, 75 amps. So we're right there, kind of within the range, 300 amps is kind of right on the ballpark. And like I said, if you drive it to max power, if you're really wanting to squeeze every watt out of it, probably between 350 and 400 amps is what you would see out of it. But running it like this, should run all day long. Shouldn't have any trouble out of it. Super, super nice amp. Has a big lug on the back of it for the ground. Several hot wires coming out of it there. And I think the customer, will be very happy with this one. Just wanted to get him a video done and show him this thing in action. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So let me know what you guys think. Questions, comments, shoot me a text, 423-299-3535. Fatboy Custom 16-pill 2879C in the oversized 32-pill cabinet. All right, guys, have a good one out there. Rooster in Tennessee, roostercb.com. Catch you guys out on the band. See you, bye.